want to say I'm a visually stimulated person, so anything, pictures, videos, anything can spark my inspiration. Really, I like to treat my music like a puzzle piece, like a really big puzzle piece, and I'm just trying to put the puzzle back together and using production, lyrics, and all of that really. And that's kind of how I operate in terms of creativity. It comes down to what I want to say, how do I want to say it, and I just try and connect the two. I feel like anybody can be creative, honestly. There's an interview I watched recently of Pharrell, and he was speaking about how creativity is like a library, and we just go up there and we just take a book and we're just borrowing ideas. It was something like that, but he said something about creativity that really blew my mind, and it was just about like creativity being a library. And what's crazy about that is that I never thought about it like that before, but what he said really changed the way I view creativity. But honestly, anybody can be creative. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to explore their imagination, but once you overcome that fear, then sky's the limit. So my background, I wouldn't say is unique or anything like that. I would say is very interesting. I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, also known as the DRC, also known as RDC, the French speakers. It was also known as Zaire for a while back. But I was born there, and I moved to South Africa just around 3 to 4 years old. No, actually, 4 to 5 years old, now that I think of it. Yeah, so I moved to South Africa around that age. And after that, I lived in South Africa for a while. And then eventually we moved out of South Africa to settle in Canada. And so I've lived in like 3 different countries. And what's interesting and what stands out about all of that is just how powerful music is, just how universal the language of music is. And it always blows my mind when I really think about it. When I sit down and think about it, it's like, man, music is so influential. I feel like no matter your background, no matter where you're from, what's your day to day, how different you are from the next person, a good song is a good song to anybody. And that really, really blows my mind till this day. And my favorite art piece, I've never actually thought about my favorite art piece. I'm not big into like painting and like going to art shows or anything like that. I've never actually done that on a regular. But if I was to pick my favorite art piece, I want to say something. Actually, Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye actually used this art piece in one of his album covers, if I'm not mistaken. And I just love that. I love Black Joy, so I really love that art piece. And if I was to pick another one, I want to say I forgot the name of the painter, but I also forgot the name of the art piece. But it's literally a picture or an art piece of a black woman on her bed, or at least on the edge of her bed, and she's kind of like looking down. And I feel like that's a really, really good representation of what a lot of black women go through. I really love that art piece. Um, Man, I forgot the name of the painter. Damn. I probably put it down here somewhere, but it's a really good art piece. I want to say probably my child years. I want to say a good from age 4 to maybe age 14, or 15 actually. Yeah. But I was a very, I was a child that lived in his imagination a lot. Um, which is where I kind of came up with a lot of my ideas now that I think of it. I was very creative as a child, and that kind of led into the music. Not that I actually sit down and really think about it. But I was a very creative child. I used to create my own cartoons, draw a lot. I used to I actually one time I actually attempted to start my own magazine, and basically what I was doing, I was just cutting out pictures from like the existing magazines like People and all those magazines, and just taking those papers and placing them on my own like paper and calling it my own magazine. But Yeah, I was very creative as a child, and I used to live in my imagination a lot. And it was what's crazy about that is that I've always had the spirit to create, and that's always been my main thing. And I've always had like the urge to express myself, and that's kind of been like my main thing for the longest time. And music is probably the best form of expression. It's probably why I chose this career path specifically.